All right, Bulls and Bears, welcome back with another dose of economic reality and more. We're going to start branching out here and getting into more financial economic topics here. I think a lot of people are looking for different types of news and perspectives. We're going to hear from a lot of people from within the working class telling us on what's happening with their budgets and how they're seeing the world right now, and especially the United States with this inflation, persistent cost of living, rising, things getting harder. And a lot of people now are alarmed at the health insurance premiums because now is the time of year, we're in November. Now is the time of year where people start looking at their health insurance for the following year. And that's just a couple months away, of course. But the premiums being reported are pretty alarming, the premium increases. And I see it in mine. My health insurance went up by a good amount. I'm not sure percentage wise, but it went up over $100 a month. So it doesn't seem like a lot, but when you multiply that by 12 months, you're over $1,000 a year just raising costs on health insurance. So I think a lot of people need to multiply their monthly expenses by 12 because you think $50, $100, $200 a month is not a lot. But then you multiply it by 12, you're talking a couple $1,000 a year easily. You know, in some cases for a $200 increase, that's $2,400 a year. And you look at your annual salary, it could be a big chunk of it. $1,000 or $2,000 could mean a lot for people making $40,000, $50,000, $60,000. But that's just the tip of the iceberg, folks. There's a lot of other things that are going to get more expensive, of course. We know that the story has been the talking points, how inflation was going to come down, how the cost of living was going to come down. We told it right here it wasn't going to happen. A lot of people called me doom and gloom. They said I was fear-mongering. They said prices were going to crash. Everything was going to come crashing down. I said, no, it's going to get higher and higher. It's going to get more expensive. Why? Because the money spigot. The money spigot is still turned on. They're flooding the economy with money. The national debt's exploding, right? They're using that to fund all these things. Now we have the shutdown. Is that making a difference? No, we're still seeing the debt explode. All right, you would think that something would have to give at some point with the shutdown, but things are happening in some cities. In fact, the rescue packages are being rolled out now in some cities. Take a look at a couple reports here. Here's a report here, I believe, out of Georgia. We have a mayor down there evicting or suspending evictions. So people that can't pay their rent, they can just stay. You can't evict them if you're the landlord, if you're the property owner. The question is, what's going to happen at the end? Are they going to have to go back and pay the past due rent, right, and just get caught up on everything? Or is it going to be forgiven like we saw about 5 years ago in the health crisis, right? Also, we have other rescue packages in place. We have checks going out in New York with over 8 million people getting up to a $400 inflation refund check, folks. So all these things are just Band-Aids on a broken leg. They're not going to fix the long-term problem. Of course, 2020, we know what happened there. It caused inflation, right? Things were not allowed to correct. The housing market wasn't allowed to come down. They canceled foreclosures. They canceled evictions. We had moratoriums on tens of millions of different types of, not different types, but tens of millions of people across various types of loans had a pause put on there. The student loans, car loans were paused, rents, mortgage payments, all these things. Now banks are more easily refinancing. Rates are coming down a bit. We had a rate cut, last Wednesday? And so a lot of people are going to look to refinance now, and it's pretty much just find ways to keep this debt ball from imploding, and that's what they're doing so far. How long will it last? Well, is there going to be something big happening this month? It's going to bring this whole house of cards down. We've got talks of a lot of unrest and possible riots in the U.S. We're going to see what happens here as we progress into the month of November. But I hope you're doing well. I got my November farm behind me here. Sort of like a place I used to live. I grew up in the country, so I always go back to these types of places here to check them out. I like going back to visit my old state in Michigan. I live in California now. But let's get into the news, folks. First, let's hear from some people, though, giving their take on this rising insurance premium thing.
I also want to point out the fact that I make $150 an hour. I see someone on SNAP benefits as my equal. We are in the same class. If you are someone that is a working class American that is talking shit on people that are going to lose their SNAP benefits on November 1st, you need to change your perspective. You have had billionaires, the 1%, these people who are literally about to become trillionaires if they aren't already in a matter of months. These people have literally convinced you to be against a homeless person or someone on SNAP benefits, someone that you are closer in income to than you would ever be close in income to the 1%. And if health insurance premiums are going to double, I've already been paying over $600 a month for my private health insurance as someone that works for themselves. I have no pre-existing health conditions and I'm a single woman. I literally have nothing wrong with me, yet I'm paying almost $700 a month for my health insurance. And I have an upper hand here. I make 6 figures a year. I work part-time. I can afford this. I don't have student loan debt. I don't have a mortgage. I don't have children. When I say this, I'm not saying it for myself.
She doesn't have a mortgage. She doesn't have children. That's a theme among people with a lot of extra money. Is it seems like they don't have families.
Entirely, because obviously if we keep paying more and more over time, it will eventually affect me. I am saying this for the people that are already suffering. The people that are already suffering are on both sides of the aisle. I care about you. We care about you. I am willing to make amends. SNAP benefits expire on November 1st. How the heck are people going to feed themselves, especially when prices are already up, I think 5% in 2025 alone. You didn't get cheaper eggs. You didn't get cheaper milk. Everything is more expensive.
All right, folks. So she's comparing herself to someone belonging in the same category as someone barely scraping by, someone that needs food benefits, even though she says she's making $150 an hour, making 6 figures, home paid off, no bills, it sounds like, or very little bills. And what she's saying, though, is that it's the multi-billionaires that are up there laughing at all of us, going after each other because some people are on benefits and some people aren't.
Is everybody broke right now? Everybody? Are we all in tight spots right now? And when I say broke, I don't mean dead ass broke. I mean you paying your bills, you good, you okay there, but you one unexpected bill away from blowing a head gasket. I'm tired. Why am I working so hard and seeing so little? And look, that's not me being ungrateful, because I want to take the time to say I'm absolutely grateful for everything that I have. I have a home, I have a car, I have healthy children, I'm healthy myself, husband's healthy. I have a lot to be grateful for. But what the hell is going on? Can anybody plug me in on what's going on in society, in economy right now? Why is it so hard right now? How come every time I get my check, the shit is gone? I'm tired. Like that. When I tell you, I'm thinking of 99 ways on a daily basis on how I'm going to get rich. This is crazy. And then I see folks out here on yachts and taking trips and doing this and doing that and doing that. I want to take a trip. Can I take a trip or two? I need about 3 trips.
Of course you could take a trip. You got the magic plastic, right? Open up your wallet, look for the piece of plastic. It's going to have probably a Visa, MasterCard logo on it. Discover, maybe American Express. Magic plastic. You don't need money. You don't need to have money saved.
I think I'm overdue for about 3 trips. I'm tired. We got Christmas coming up. Kids want to celebrate Halloween. Need a costume for that. And why the hell are the costumes so damn high? Can anybody tell me that? Why are costumes $80 for a damn top or bottom that's damn near a material that'll rip up in a minute and a damn wig?
Just to be fair, I saw some costumes for like $18. She said $80, I think. She might have been shopping at some expensive places. I think people need to really watch how they spend their money. And it's interesting that you see some people like this. She seems upset. She seems concerned about the future. She says she spends her time obsessing about how to get rich because she's tired of the rat race. She's probably tired of working. More people now working second jobs than ever before. So there's a lot of ways that people are keeping themselves afloat. Also, we have the smallest 401k contribution, so people aren't saving for retirement anymore. Combined with people pulling money out of the retirement, doing what they can just to scrape by. But you're still seeing a lot of economic activity out there. Look at the sporting events, the World Series. The Dodgers just won, by the way. Another World Series, back-to-back World Series, the Dodgers. Not a big baseball watcher. I think the game is too slow. Some people love baseball, nothing against you. I used to be obsessed with baseball. I used to collect the baseball cards and stuff like that. Not to get sidetracked, but economically, you watch these sporting events, you see the stadiums are packed. 50, 60, 70,000 people. You're like, okay, people have to be doing pretty good. But then you see videos like this and you look around, 70% of people living paycheck to paycheck. I've used the analogy before where people behind on their bills, behind on their rent, they're still going to go do entertainment things. People are still going to drive to the sports stadium or the stadium to watch a sports event with their check engine light on, right? People just don't have their priorities straight. People would rather be entertained for a few hours than get their financial situation straightened out and get their life straightened out. It's true. And I've fallen into those patterns of behavior before where I'll just sit there and watch TV, won't really want to do anything, wouldn't want to clean up, don't want to do anything to improve myself, but I'm sitting there watching TV, watching somebody else's life on a screen or somebody else's story or actors instead of working on myself. I think we all do that. I think we all, to some degree, could be improving ourselves. We could do things a little bit differently, but instead we like to go out and spend money. We like to be entertained. I get it, folks. I mean, that's the trap right now. Entertainment is so easy to get to. It's at the click of a button now on your phone. Anywhere you go, a screen is in front of you. And it's interesting the way people spend their money here. But let's hear from this next person who says that no matter what type of financial situation you're in, you need to be happy. It's like that song, don't worry, be happy, don't worry. Take a listen.
Being sad is for poor people. Like, being sad will literally make you broke. You think somebody's gonna want to network with you, do business with you, or pay you when you're just sad and mopey and depressed all the time? No! If you want to do really good business and make a lot of money in life, you need to be on all the time. That's the only difference. They are always on. They're always happy. They're always in a winning mindset. You can't just walk around being like, life is so hard. I'm going through so many things. Like, nobody cares.
She said no one is going to want to pay you if you're sad. Interesting. What if the reason you're sad is because you have no money? And if someone paid you, you'd be happy. That's not a good scenario where you're not going to get paid if you're sad.
To do really good business and make a lot of money in life, you need to be on all the time. That's the only difference. They are always on. They're always happy. They're always in a winning mindset. You can't just walk around being like, life is so hard. I'm going through so...
So basically successful people are happy is what she's saying. But maybe the reason they're happy is because they're successful. And if you took away all their money, they probably wouldn't be happy. So I get where she's coming from, but I think she might not be seeing the full picture. It's the chicken or the egg thing, right? The cause is the effect, and the effect is the cause, right?
So many things. Like, nobody cares about the things that you're going through. Nobody cares how your day was. They care about what you can do for them and your energy.
Nobody cares? My wife said she cared, but she's saying nobody cares. I'm going to have to go talk to my wife after this. This lady says nobody cares.
People don't like to be around sad people, so don't be sad, because being sad will make you poor, and then being poor will make you more sad, and then it's just a never-ending cycle of...
Being sad makes you poor. Being poor doesn't make people sad. No. Being sad makes you poor. All right, let's continue.
Pathetic sadness. My background is in sales. So in sales, you will have to go from no, and approach the next person knowing that they're going to be a yes. It doesn't matter if the last person told you no, told you to get a real job, told you to yourself. You have to walk into every single conversation expecting a yes, and then the yeses will come. But if you walk into every single sales conversation or business conversation or networking thinking, oh, this person doesn't want to talk to me, thinking, oh, they're not going to hire me anyway, oh, they're not going to buy from me anyway, guess what? They're not going to buy from you because your energy literally sucks. You reek of desperation. They want nothing to do with it.
Interesting. A little bit of sales talk there. So it does seem like a lot of the best business people I know, salespeople, they're very upbeat, they're very positive. So I get where she's coming from. I'm not saying that what she's saying is wrong. I just think that a lot of people would argue with the fact that being sad makes you broke, when it could be the other way around. A lot of people are depressed and are sad because they're broke, right? But from a sales perspective, from a business perspective, It does not do any good to be bummed out, to be sad, to be negative, to be ornery, grumpy. It's not going to help you in the business world, that's for sure. And in the working force, it's not going to help you either. So I get where she's coming from, but for a lot of people, it's just not that easy to just put on a happy face when really you're not happy, right? Some people use different things to make themselves happy when they aren't happy. It's not a good thing either. All right, but take a listen to this here, and we got some other news to get into on the other side here.
I think now is a really, really good time to remind everybody that being broke is not a personal failing. It is a systemic one. And it is not a reason to eliminate yourself from connection and from access to your community. For many, many years, I appeared to be a really terrible friend because I was super flaky, because I was broke. And I was too ashamed and in too much financial depression to admit to my people that the reason why I couldn't go get coffee is because I had negative $25 in my bank account at any given day, and that was a good day. And I want to remind people that now is a really, really great time to offer accessible and free opportunities to see your friends. I am not the person that you need to go have dinner with. If I suggest dinner, babe, tell me let's go on a walk instead, and you don't have to say anything else. You don't have to say anything else. But we need to be incredibly aware of the fact that people ain't got it, and that's not a reason to not have community. Now is not the time to be ashamed of being broke. Now is not the time to shame the people we love for being broke. At the end of the day, we still need each other, and I will be damned if somebody that I love feels like they can't tell me that they ain't got it right now. Babe, none of us got it right now. Whether we're pretending we do or we don't, none of us got it right now. So we don't have to go to dinner. We don't have to get wine. We don't have to go shopping. Let's go on a walk. Come over to my house. We'll share a broke charcuterie of American cheese and Ritz crackers. That is good with me. Because I'd be having that anyway. But yeah, I'm really, really focusing in on the fact that we need each other now more than ever. And one of the greatest weapons and tools of capitalism is that it forces those who need relationships the most out of them because they don't have money to keep up, especially today. There is nothing to keep up with. When community truly exists, there is no price to pay. There is no price for entry. You do not need to go to a nice 4-course meal in order to have friendship with me. And we all need to be saying that to the people that we love. It is not the time to be too ashamed to say you ain't got it. And more importantly, on the other side of that, we need to be incredibly aware of the financial landscape of the world, the systemic landscape of the world, and the fact that people need to know that we are a safe place even when they don't got it, and that they are deserving of friendship with us. I would rather see my people completely for free, because you ain't got to trick me into a good time. Because if I ain't got to spend money with you, I'm happy. I would rather see my people for free than not see you at all. I would rather see you broke than not see you at all. That's what
In other words, don't be ashamed if you're broke. Go hang out with your friends. I think she should have still went and got coffee with her friend. I think she still should have went there and gotten coffee. She should have put it on the mastic plastic. I mean, look at all these clothes back here, right? She's been spending money on something. I'm joking. Folks, have you ever done that? Just said, I can't do something because you just didn't have the money. Maybe you had the money, but you didn't want to spend the last of it. Interesting perspective here. Take a listen to one more, though.
Today, my job released our open enrollment. It started today. I am currently paying $240 every 2 weeks for health insurance for a family, correct? Now, that does not include my vision, dental, 401k, or disability. So when you add all of those in, I'm paying about $550 every 2 weeks for my entire family to have medical, dental, vision. I have disability coverage, and I also contribute to my 401k. We just got our benefits for next year, What I'm currently paying $240 every 2 weeks for is going up to $709 every 2 weeks. That does not include my 401k, my vision, my dental, my disability insurance. How can I possibly survive paying $1,500 just in medical coverage?
Folks, it's happening. Where does it end? That's the big question. That's the scary part. I mean, right now there's not an implosion happening, but it gets to a point where so many people are going to be struggling that something's got to give, folks. And I just want us to all be ready for it. I want us to keep our eye on the ball and know what's happening around the curve, know what's coming around the corner. Let me know what you think about this, folks. Where do these insurance premiums, when do they stop increasing? Does it ever stop? And if prices just keep going up, how are things going to remain the same, and how are things not going to implode at some point? I mean, the system may not implode, but more and more people personally will be imploding financially. So we've got to be smarter now than ever, investing, looking for ways to save money, and just be conscious of what's going on, folks. Thanks for being here. Let me know. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think about this, and hope to see you in the next video. Bye for now. Peace.